Welcome. You hear yourself?
What?
I didn't hear myself very loudly because I turned down. The music was up. I'm going to start that over.
Oh, no.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I've got my co-host over here, the Greeze. Say hello, Greeze.
Happy Cyber Monday, Will.
Did you buy anything today?
No, but my wife did. I came home. If you don't follow me on Instagram,
I saw that.
You should.
Yeah.
It's at the real Greeze, Greeze. Speaking of Cyber Mondays, you know what I hate? Like, oh, I'm a store and I'm going to give you like 25% off, but yet I'm charging like full retail right now, and it's normally marked down, and then it's not. You know what we did on our store?
Yeah, you could actually.
We made it simple.
Currently, if you're watching this and you want to get one of those cool beanies, or you want to get one of
bags,
those sweatshirts that have kind of the vintage looking logo, you can go to.
We got hoodies.
Thepodcast.com. I said that sweatshirt. I call it sweatshirt. Thepodcast.com/store and use the promo code CYBER.
Yeah.
CYBER.
Yeah.
And you will get free shipping. I believe that's what we did. Yeah.
Which
I like. If you're a patron, you always get free shipping.
You always get free shipping if you're a patron. Yeah. But we're not out there to gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, by the way, speaking of while we're pushing stuff, patreon.com/thepodcast.
Right.
We've got some fun stuff coming that they're going to know about. They've already seen a video that we haven't released for like 5 days.
Oh yeah. I'm like, what are they? You always do that. We're like, they're going to find out something. And then my brain
Well, no, they're getting
starts trying to go like, what is he talking
We are
about?
going to be doing a drawing for bottles of the Pour One for George in our Patreon.
Yeah, and you're automatically signed up for that if you're a patron.
Yeah, you don't have to be present when we do the drawing. You'll just have to be a current when we do the drawing. In I think we're going to get them in February. So then, so we're gonna throw a couple bottles in there, and you're gonna be able to get them.
And as always, if
it's an OESO,
if you're a patron, you get the after party. Which after we do these shows live, if you're listening on the podcast feed, we do these live on YouTube every Monday night around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Give or take a few minutes if Grease is still trying to get batteries in the cameras. But we do that.
Shout out to Cody Breeding, by the way.
I'm not done talking. Don't just interrupt. You're not allowed to look at the chat.
You're right.
I'm not allowed because you do that.
I do.
Focus. I'm talking.
I know.
So if you're a patron, though, you every Monday night after we're done with the show, you get an after party where we go live. It's exclusive content. It's us being a little bit more loose. We're not live on the feed. We're just live on YouTube. That we send a private link to just patrons. So you get that if you watch that. But give your shout out to Cody, and then I've got some questions.
Well, no, I was just saying. I was like, man, I wonder if that would be cool if like our links were posted for people just to easy click them. And then Cody's he always does a good job.
Yeah, no, Cody.
I think we only have one.
I
feel like we've got only like one good wrench. Like consistent good.
Well,
I actually don't watch the chat.
Your fault. So,
no,
Daniel Carter's good at it. Nate's good at it. We have a lot of good people. You don't need to be watching the chat.
I don't watch the chat.
I know for a good reason. You're already all over the place tonight.
Well, I just drink because I look fair.
Instead of having like a swear jar or something, like where you got to put $1 in if you swear at the dinner table or something. Whenever you start to get wild, I'm going to make you take a drink, but that's also a bad idea because then you'll get more wild. And
this is dangerous.
You've done that.
This Lob Creek from ADHD Whiskey. He does these barrel picks on his Patreon.
All right. You said it last week too. It's one of your favorites you've ever done. So if you support,
it drinks like 100 proof.
If you support Matt Porter at ADHD Whiskey on Patreon, you can have opportunity to get some of his barrel picks, and that's how you got that one.
Yep.
Let's go to first before we get to the topic of the day, because you did one of your provocative questions again. So we'll get there. But how was Thanksgiving now that we're home from the holiday and such?
Yeah, I'm just thankful.
Excuse me, you're dying.
I'm just thankful that my mom did not use frozen green beans for the green bean casserole this year. There was just a side It was a sidebar last year, and my sister and I literally spit out. We had to spit it out. Like, we could not physically consume it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I see. For some reason, in my head, that was years ago, not last year.
I'm pretty sure it was last year. If it wasn't, then I mean, time is weird right now, but I'm pretty sure it was last year. And I don't know what the thought process with her on that was. I have no idea. I still don't know, but she knows now either to pre-buy green beans like 2 months before so that they're in stock, or just don't buy it because the package looks prettier. You know, the beans look pretty because they did look prettier. But you want those you want those mutilated green beans in there.
Can I have that 4-year rye to drink on? No, I don't know. So, I mean, all this stuff is like kind of off limits. All your drinkers are kind of over there. So just a splash. I just need to get
just a smear.
Just to get
what do you
started? Scotch?
A scotch.
Just a scotch. So
we need a shirt.
Just a scotch.
It says just a scotch, and it's like just a little bit of whiskey in a glass.
Yeah, that's funny.
It is funny.
That would sell. I'd wear that.
Just a scotch. Melissa, we'll need to get on that.
So
we'll use a Glen for it too, instead of a rocks glass.
So
I know we should use our logo.
Did you have a good?
It was great
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, dude, the weather was perfect down in Georgia too.
Was it? It was cold here, and it rained all day on Thanksgiving. Oof. So we had to be inside with the kids all day, and it was not pleasant.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
I Thanksgivinged hard.
You did.
Oh,
tell me about Thanksgiving,
dude. I was drinking like full force game day mix at like 9:30 a.m.
I know you texted me. It was like 9:30, and you're like, "I'm already 2 in."
I was.
Yeah.
And then I took a nap at like 2 o'clock, like right after we got done eating. Pretty much that turkey comatose or whatever it's called. What is it called?
Turkey coma. You get a turkey coma.
Well, comatose is the long word for coma.
No, you can be comatose.
Oh, it's a verb.
But a coma is what you're in.
Okay, so which one's the verb?
You comed.
You comed.
No, I don't know.
You comatose.
You were in a.
You were. I don't think words work like that.
No.
Okay, so you don't know. Is it safe to say
it's not a verb? Coma and comatose neither are verbs.
There's
comatose.
There's this switch in Will, like if you think he might not know, it's just because he doesn't want to talk about it. And then if you press him anymore, it's literally dumb. Like a daggum, like some 5th grader pulling the fire alarm at an elementary school.
It's obnoxious.
You're kind of screwed, you know. All right, well,
I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving. You drank too much, passed out. I did not.
We went down to Georgia. We let the dogs run.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was really good. It's always a honeymoon when we go down there because no, I'm just saying, like, it's always like, oh my gosh. Well,
I don't want to know what your honeymoon was like. If going to visit family and letting the dogs run is like a honeymoon.
Okay, well, so that's entirely fair. So here's the situation, Will. I'm just saying conditions were perfect.
First time anyone has ever claimed a family gathering is like a honeymoon.
That Lob Creek is like 100 proof. It tastes like 100 proof. All right. Yes. But we always go down there, and it's always fun. It's always amazing. It's always perfect weather. We're always sipping our coffees on the front porch, watching dogs and kids play in the yard. Like, it's just like,
once again, really curious what that honeymoon of yours was like.
I got sick on my honeymoon.
Just watching kids and dogs play in the yard takes me back.
I got one of those.
Oh my god!
It wasn't a full on like UTI, but kind of similar to it from Mexico. Well, it wasn't Mexico. Wait, where did we go?
I don't know. St. Lucia.
We went to St. Lucia
all the time. I love it. You ask me where you went on your honeymoon.
It's the French.
If you were to ask me, I would say it sounds like you went to your in-laws.
Right. That one time I got that UTI at my in-laws.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh. Dude, we are drilling 3-pointers right now.
Yeah.
Like in
Lob
a couple
Creek.
of ways. Yeah, we're well, I'm just like in volleyball. Like you just
Setting
you
it.
spike it, but it's a
Yeah.
3-point spike.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even think
not
you can
how
do
that
that.
works.
Well, you can do that in
Grease
kickball.
never been much of a sports fan.
Not true.
Yeah, you just said a 3-point in volleyball.
Half of our conversation is about sports.
Well, yeah, but you say things wrong.
We had a podcast one time called Game Day Mix.
We had about 3 or 4 episodes, maybe 2.
No, it was one.
Just one.
It was just
only one.
It was one.
And we released it. Was it only one?
We released it. And then we took it down. And there's some people out there that still have it. But it was we learned very quickly what works in podcasting and what does not work in podcasting.
Well, no, but can we actually get to the real deal? Is that you claimed you were going to do a lot more work than you did, and you said, "Nah, I got this one," because this is like the first time in our podcasting career where you were like, "We should do this other thing."
Yep.
And I was like, "That sounds like too much work for me," and you're like, "Nah, I got you." And then it ended up not being accurate. So,
well, I think I would have embraced it.
I mean, that's still
it was basically this college town alcohol experience, like cocktails, bars. You kind of interview, college town bartenders and stuff. It was going to be super fun. And we'd also talk about sports.
Yeah.
And the sports side of it didn't really land because by the time our show would release, it would be 3 days old.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't really, we'd have to do it again and then do it again. It's not like evergreen. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Right. Yeah. The episodes were dated pretty quickly. And if they weren't, that was the angle that was going to take work.
Right.
And that didn't happen.
Right.
So
you know what? Hey, look.
It was a great concept. I think we recorded.
It was a fun concept.
It was a great concept.
You know what would be really cool is that concept on our YouTube channel with videos. That'd be cool. Going to college towns.
Right. So that's not going to happen because the first mistake I learned
we'll go to Auburn first
was no, right, but it just won't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll end up having to do the work.
You want me to book another weekend for us?
Oh, that one. I love that you like rest on your laurels of that. So anyhow,
no, you were just getting on to me now because
I know
next year so many weekends.
No, Greeze is trying to book out he's been telling me I'm trying to get out of weddings so I can have free weekends. And over the past 2.5 weeks, he's booked 4 extra things on weekends in the first quarter of 2022.
Hey man, I'm an Enneagram 3. Let's go, baby.
I hate you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we got 80 people watching. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you're watching live on YouTube or watching later on YouTube. You can still give a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it.
Share with your friends because we got some freaking cool stuff coming.
Share it with your friends and also support us at patreon.com/thepodcast. You'll get the after show when we're done with this. So we'll continue our stuff.
Right. That's any level.
All right. So your Thanksgiving was good. Should we get to the topic at hand?
Should we get to your Thanksgiving and talk about gumbo for a second?
Oh yeah. So we did.
And gold sauce?
It was just we stayed at home. So it was just me, my wife, and our 2 kids. And we didn't we went back to Alabama the weekend before. You knew that because I came back up here and we talked about things.
Talked about tanks,
East Aboga and stuff, and Talladega and things like that.
I understand.
And so we went to nowhere is the answer to that. We went nowhere. We stayed at home. We cooked. I made a turkey. I've got this turkey recipe I've done 2 years in a row. That's delicious. It has honey in it. It is it's a hot honey turkey that you dry brine it with brown sugar, cayenne pepper, paprika, ground ginger, and salt and pepper. And you go under the skin and you do all the things to the turkey the night before.
You hand blast the turkey?
Oh, yeah. And then you put the turkey overnight in the fridge. Then you roast it the next day. And while it's roasting, you have a honey and hot sauce mixture that you baste it with. And it kind of makes this like candied hot honey shell on the turkey. And it's gorgeous and it roasts perfectly. And then you eat it. And
there's so many things I want to say right now that would flag us.
Probably.
You know?
So then you do that, and then I took the carcass, or as Adeline go, what do you do with that turkey's body? Like, well, we're gonna cook it into a stock.
Oh,
so
you
put
stewed it.
Put it in the pot with some water and some onions and celery and stuff.
Pulled out the
garlic,
oils
and just boiled that down into that real concentrated stock. And I kept that for a few days, and I kept some of the meat. And then yesterday we did a leftover gumbo. So I used the stock and then made that roux, which you hate when I talk about. You're like, what are you talking about? You go store that thing for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Why do you have? That's stupid, dude.
It'll burn.
Do you know that? Well, the KitchenAid thing. Why don't you use that?
It won't work. It'll mess it up. You gotta sit there and
You gotta
sit there and babysit that, because if it starts to burn, you got to throw the whole thing out and then start over.
So why don't you just put it on low?
Because if it's too low, you got to be able to adjust in the moment. You got to keep it going.
See, I just don't understand why. I just don't understand.
Precise thing.
And in a text thread that we were in while you were doing all this crap, I literally asked for some 10 times, and you did not answer me. And you finally succumbed.
No, in the text thread,
you deliberately did not answer me.
No, I was stirring. I didn't have my phone on me at the moment because we were eating, and I said, "Come get it," and you said, "I'm in Chattanooga," and so I set you a bowl aside and put it in the fridge. And Samantha said, "What's that for?" And I said, "This is for Greeze. He's going to come by and get it," and you never showed up.
Did you save it?
Yes, it's at my house.
Can I have it tomorrow?
Sure.
Could you bring it to work?
Yes. Anyhow, so it had
gumbo,
had sausage and turkey and some Carolina Gold rice, and so that was my thing.
It
looks
incredible. By the way, this Elixir freaking blue note pick is freaking solid. I don't think he's got any more left, but
all that to say, now we'll get to the heart and soul. Oh, here's a picture of the gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
Henry loved it, and he's 2, and it was spicy, and he loved it. Let's show the people. Look at that. Look at that beautiful gumbo. Anyhow, so we've got a question at hand. Greeze tried to get what's it called?
I tried to get what?
Philosophical again. So I said you threw.
I didn't try to get philosophical about nothing.
I said you threw the retailers under the bus because you continued your divisional shift
okay, so
mantra or whatever you're going down.
Any text that I throw up there in the picture boxes is a divisional shift post.
Well, it says #divisional shift in it. So yeah, pretty sure that's what you were going for there, bud.
Well, I will say, I will say that your comment about me throwing retailers on the bus, that's faux or whatever.
I don't know. No, you do.
That's fake news.
No, you do kind of put the burden on them.
Oh, for sure.
And so I first read it wrong, and I'll concede that, and I'll tell people, but I'm going to first read your statement because it's a statement. It's like a manifesto, but like a very short manifesto. And it says retailers have the legal and ethical power to shut down the whiskey secondary market. And I read it as legal and ethical obligation. And so that's where I was like, you threw retailers under the bus. And you like, no, I didn't. And I said, you said obligation. And then you said, no, reread it. And I did. It does say legal and ethical power, but you are still trying to put the burden of it on the retailers. And I don't think that's fair.
Right.
But I'm going to let you explain yourself.
I had to side text a lot of them today and literally just say, hey, I didn't.
I was like, first of all, you're going to, I had to send a lot of text myself and say, just so you know, Greeze and I are not a package deal when it comes to the end of the year. I still firmly believe in the good work you're doing.
Wait, so the beginning of the year, you and I are a package deal?
Yeah, when we're spending money, count that towards me collectively. But then when it gets to the end of the year, when you're dishing out things,
yeah, but it's
all me. We're all separate here.
No, but I mean, financially and tax specific, you actually want a dependent at the end of the year.
Not if the dependent is you, Greeze. All right, so divisional shift. explain your statement. Retailers have the legal and ethical power to shut down the whiskey secondary market. How do they have the power to, and the I don't know what ethical power
I feel like there's
this divisional shift and ethical power are two phrases. Once again, I said it a couple weeks ago. This is Inigo Montoya. You keep saying that phrase. I do not think it means what you think it means.
No, I'm just saying the retailers that hate the secondary market with a passion. Retailers, if they got together in the non-controlled states, if they got together and said, we are charging nothing but like $500 per bottle over secondary right now, boom, done. Those bottles would still leave the store, but to really dumb people, and they would lose money, and it would stop the shenanigans of flipping allocations.
Okay, so a store owner, and all the store owners.
Yeah.
So once again, we have to take this
an alliance of store owners in Tennessee. Tennessee Alliance of Liquor Store owners.
Tennessee.
There's a group called the Tennessee or
I love Tarak right now because Tarak
Association
hates you so much.
Oh yeah, no, teasing it. T thinks he knows how to run a business
better than you do.
That's not true.
So he's
I would be freaking selling secondary market on all of my allocations.
First of all,
lot B $2,000.
So let's take out the ethical and legal statement you made, because you said you like
it's
categorized
legal. Here. No, for retailers,
you called it legal and ethical power.
They do.
No, but I don't. No, I know. Let's take those modifiers of power off.
Okay.
Right now, because I need to dive into those a little bit.
Okay.
But you first said they have the power, just in general.
Yes.
So you think they have the power to shut down
an
unregulated cross-state line, not market dependent, outside of government regulation. They have the power to shut that down.
They have the power to come together and collectively do something that can combat the secondary market on a state level to almost non-existent.
So you think if every single retailer in Tennessee,
yes,
said we're going to take the non-stated and constantly fluctuating secondary price of a bottle.
Yes.
And then we're all going to decide that whatever that price is, even though it's not a set price, it's a fluid number.
Right.
And sometimes it's a number that is for sale, isn't the bid and ask price aren't the same. You're saying that if they come together on a number and then they charge $500 over that,
yeah,
the secondary market across the entire United States will shut down.
No,
that's what you said.
You have to do it on a state level. They're part of the solution.
No, but how does it shut it down if they do that here?
You're going to wipe out 1,000 flippers in a second in Tennessee.
But that doesn't shut it down anywhere else. It just opens up opportunities for people to buy it online from other people. Because
those opportunities already exist. I'm saying no.
Right. Yeah, that's what we're saying. You said they can shut it down.
Right. Other states would have to follow suit.
Right. So then you're asking,
but it's state specific.
It is state specific, but you said I'm not the one. I don't have to defend my position.
There's a lot of people that on the secondary market keep it local. They don't want to ship stuff, which I completely agree.
And those prices are typically significantly lower.
Sure.
Right. So I don't think so. Then what price are you choosing? Local price? I don't think local secondary market is the problem. That's not the problem. Local markets, like, I'm not saying any names of groups. I feel like local markets of people are, because they're smaller and a little bit more controlled, aren't where the big numbers are go up. The big price and the thing that's sitting out of control are the Powerball, the illegal gambling that's happening online, the unregulated illegal gambling on
those raffles, and then like, oh, I don't want the bottle, I want the money, and it's just like and then the guy keeps the bottle and then keeps like, I don't know, a portion of it and then pays the other guy.
Yeah, like that's where the pricing gets really out of control. And then people benchmark that in secondary Facebook groups and other marketplaces. That I don't think the biggest problem is local sales. I think that's actually, I see a lot more trading on a local level, less straight up flipping. And then you also see on a local level, when you're doing things like that, people like the guy in Nashville who was locally trying to sell 6 bottles or 10 bottles.
Well,
of
he did
Jack
that on
Daniel's
daggum
10 years.
Craigslist.
Oh, and that's so much different than Facebook?
Yes.
No, people on Facebook
You can look at somebody how long they've been a member. You can go and start stalking. You can find their wives and their cousins twice removed, and then you can figure out like, okay, I'm pretty sure
people
this
on
guy's
Facebook
just
have gotten in trouble for that.
Huh?
People get scammed on Facebook all the time, and people have also gotten caught selling on Facebook.
I'm just saying it's a
much riskier proposition. So that's why I'm saying the local
Craigslist is more risky.
Definitely, but so is local Facebook. That's why the prices are lower.
Look, just because you were trying to find like some t-shirt quilt or something on Marketplace, and it went down a weird.
Notice what's happening when Greeze starts deflecting with a fake made up thing. You know that he's hit the end of the road. So
I'm not at the end of the
hit
road.
The dead end because you can't respond to me. I'm saying that local groups aren't as big of a problem as the national groups. That's what's making the prices go super high. It's not the local groups.
Yes, I agree with you. You're probably going to see larger inflation on a national level versus a state level for sure.
Right.
But it's still
that's the one you're not going to shut down.
But it's not necessarily. Dude, I know specifically some people in freaking Nashville, Tennessee that freaking suck.
I'll quote
and they are absolutely part of the problem.
I'll quote the Speaker of the House, Nancy
whiskey.
Pelosi, just to piss people off and throw a
What happened to Nancy?
One of her favorite quotes, which is really kind of dumb until I started talking with you about this, is she goes, the plural of anecdote is not data. So like your couple stories you hear, like an anecdote here or this guy did this here, does not equate to a broader set of data. So when you hear a story over here and like, no, I know this one dude that he's part of the problem. That doesn't mean that's
I personally know them.
Yeah.
Like
I know that's a person. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, dude,
they're not the person that is causing. They're not the person that's causing the crazy.
I'm not going to go crazy on here and start naming names.
I don't want you to do that.
I could name 10 right now.
that
suck.
You're proving my point. No,
I'm saying they're a part of the problem on a national level.
Right, on a national level, but local retailers aren't going to shut them down.
Yeah, they will.
No.
They get it mostly from around here.
Do you know that for a fact that those 10 people only get their bottles locally?
Not only.
Right.
But a lot of them, yeah.
You've asked, where'd you buy that one? Where'd you buy that one?
I know exactly where they're getting them.
You assume you know where they're getting them.
I've talked to one of them in the posse.
One person. I'm trying to say, this is not the retailer's it's not the retailer's obligation. I don't think it's the retailer's obligation to shut it down. But it's a headache. It's a headache for the retailers.
It's not an obligation.
Right. No, I'm taking that, but you put the burden on them. You did put the burden on them.
I do, because the burden is it's ironic that the burden is on them.
Yeah.
That's more of what I'm saying, because you have Don and Tarek and Lena and like all these people and Jake and Vroot, all these guys, all these people, all these retailers that we love to work with because they're really good. All of them do retail. All of them, like, they're great. So they hate the secondary market with a passion. And I think that they're the best position to combat it. And in order to do that, they would have to do what they hate, which would be collectively, hey, we're charging more than secondary. To slow it down. To weed it out.
I don't think.
Because let me go ahead and tell you something.
I don't think they could. Even if they all got together in a single state and did that, they cannot. it would be nearly impossible, especially the way our state is, to organize all of them to do that and to get everyone on board.
I would say
Second of all, but also this goes to my point earlier
I
about
would say it would weed out people. It would weed out people. It would.
No,
that
because
person that keeps on coming into their store and getting their store picks.
No, but this
doesn't come there anymore.
This goes to Tarot. As a store, if I know 10 people flipping, but they don't flip my bottles, what do I do?
It's on him.
That's on Tarot?
That's on his. That's his decision to make. That's not mine.
If he knows 10 people flipping, but they're not flipping his,
yeah,
what does he do? How does he stop it? If his bottles he knows are being drunk,
yeah,
his bottles he knows are being opened,
yeah.
How does he have the power, ethical power, and legal?
They only
power
have the power if they come together. That's it.
But
not on an individual basis.
But if he's why would Don and Tarok do that? Why would
that's
they,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why they don't want to? They do
also
not.
I don't think they.
I had a conversation with Don today and said
I don't think they have the power. I don't think that even, especially because now we're talking about a state level and they have the technological power to sell to anyone and anywhere in the country with other risks involved.
Dude,
and that's what's inflating that. How does Tennessee have the ability to actually shut that down?
All right,
they don't. Instead, it would actually add to the problem, because then all the store picks, all the local store prices would then be $500 above it. So you're only getting it at more than that. That's increasing the price. And then
your only argument that you have not even mentioned. The only argument
I'm not done.
The only argument you have right now that you have not mentioned is supply and demand.
Then people start basing the pricing off of Tennessee. Then that raises it nationally. So if the Tennessee retailers do what you're saying,
good swerve. Supply and demand.
They all bind together. No, then that's a faux set price, because then that's price fixing, which is actually illegal as well. If they start price fixing and there isn't competition between retailers, then there's potential legal issues for them there. If they set prices as retailers, not the MSRP, not whatever.
Prohibition wasn't terrible.
Setting
is what I'm saying. You know, that's what I mean?
Fair. That's fair.
No, here's the deal. I actually, a swerve on the day is that I actually love that a secondary market exists. I don't love how crazy it's gotten.
He's trying to swerve out of the conversation.
I'm not trying to swerve out of it. I'm keeping it right here.
Also, how is it ethical for them to start price fixing?
It's ethical for them to charge whatever they want to charge for a bottle.
Right, but if they all get together,
okay, I can
set a price. How is that ethical?
I didn't think about price fixing laws. I don't know anything about that. Okay, so everybody just adjust it however they want, but they at least charge this minimum amount. How is MSRP not price fixing?
It's suggested.
Okay, well then suggested retail price, suggested secondary retail price.
That's not from the manufacturer.
Okay, well,
but then if not everyone participates,
you know what?
Then your entire thing crumbles.
Could a governor write an executive order to fix that?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
They do the executive orders all day at time.
And a lot of them aren't legal.
Okay, that's not wrong.
Yeah. Greeze wants them to declare a state of emergency.
Martial law, bitch.
What's the state of emergency? Well, secondary market is quite out of hand.
I'm just saying they are the most well-positioned to inflict change on the market.
I wouldn't.
I don't know where it'll land.
I wouldn't.
I'm just saying they have the ethical.
I'm going to put this is from the
and legal power to do so.
The consumer is the biggest part of the problem. If people are paying the price, then it will never disappear. Flaviar and Cask Cartel don't help. I would agree to some point with that. Let's see.
How does flavored or whatever
Flaviar,
whatever? Isn't that like a monthly subscription? They send you like these little vials.
That's part of their business model. You can just buy bottles, and a lot of times they're like $7,000 for something that like a secondary price would be $2,000.
Okay, so they're like an online Justin's House of Bourbon.
Sure, to some
Ish.
degree. Here's Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm also pretty sure price fixing is illegal. Didn't see that earlier, but a nod to you for that. That is
Y'all are kindred spirits, aren't you?
100%.
It's like
Kindred spirits. We're just like, we've read about the 80s.
Look, here's the deal. All of my ideas that I come to you with, you always ask yourself, is this legal?
Right. Right. Because for one, you never ask yourself.
Well, I'm just saying, which I appreciate about you. The whole yin yang thing.
Yeah.
Or is it yin yang? Yin or yin yang?
I think I'm yang and you're yin. I think it's
a
yin yang.
Yin
I don't
yang.
know.
That's two things that you might not know.
Well, that's transliteration. So
Here it comes.
That's the Americanization of the traditional Chinese characters, of which I cannot read. So I'm not going to assume that I know the proper pronunciation.
Love you so much. Like, you are the most. You're more predictable than I am.
That's probably accurate, because I'm a nervous Nelly.
Right.
It's always like, oh, Greeze, don't say anything.
Why do you got to bring up Nelly?
Well,
why is it Nelly?
Yeah, because
I'll be stomping in my Air Force Ones. I don't want to sing anymore because I
love Elixir so much. In Toronto, ethics isn't power all the time. It can be weakness in the real world.
Okay. Well, you know what? Tarek, he's freaking dropping like
truth bombs
up in here, and I'm fine with it. By the way, if y'all don't know, if you're traveling through the South Nashville area, you need to hit up his store, Elixir Wine and Spirits.
This is from Kyle Ramage. Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. He said, change the subject. Why? We're having so much fun. Those 1792 Bottle and Bond and Old Soul picks are magical.
Okay, so is he native?
He's native to somewhere.
Well, no,
Nashville native.
Well, so we just recommended in the last episode,
right. Kyle,
1792 Bottle and Bond, which I think
if you're from
it was gone that day
area.
Or in the next day. And then the Old Soul, also you said also pick up their Old Soul pick.
Yeah.
And that, I'm assuming that person did.
Right. Kyle.
And they're local.
Mm-hmm. Or they were passing through. Either way.
Yeah, because it was a big daggum travel weekend. Listen, we know how to pick whiskey. We didn't do these picks, but we went there and we were like, those are the two best on the shelf.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a video in the next couple weeks of like our top 5 whiskeys of the year. It's a very classic.
Everybody's doing it.
I'll go ahead and give a preview that Old Soul pick is on my top 5 whiskey of the year.
Really?
It is. Oh, so he's in North Carolina. His sister picked them up for him. So
where's
your sister?
Where's his sister?
Okay, let's not get too personal. Kyle, you don't have to give us all the details of your life. Oh my gosh.
I have friends.
You're not.
I have friends, dude.
You have no friends that are
I have one friend.
No.
I do.
I doubt it. It's more like an acquaintance.
It's that one friend that's really bad for the whiskey business on the national level. Do you remember Frankie?
Your friend Frankie across the street?
My neighbor, yeah.
I don't trust him.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm upset about it.
Well, you're a bad neighbor. He literally lives across the street and a door over.
That's not wrong. He had a birthday party that I couldn't make it because I was in Georgia. There's something else. And I've told him like 500 times that I want him to come by and I'm going to pour everything for him. Which, speaking of pouring everything for him, we got a Buy Bar Pass episode coming up, or a special video that we're recording tonight of a daggum.
Why'd you call it a special video instead of a Buy Bar Pass episode?
It's a Buy Bar Pass episode.
Right.
But it's one of the shorter videos.
Right. It's just called a Buy Bar Pass episode.
Well,
That's literally what we do. That's what we call them.
Can you say short barrel 3 of 48?
I want it.
Can you say 18-year? Oh, hang on. Can you say 18-year-old bourbon?
Cast strength. I want it. And we split it.
It's 110.2 proof. It's 18 years old. This is barrel number 1239. I mean, I don't An 18-year bourbon at 48 bottles, I feel like that's kind of a gray area if it's a short.
That's still pretty short.
It's
still
definitely short. But 18
regardless,
years,
it's 40. It's 48 bottles.
There's a lot of things that can happen in 18 years. Is what I'm saying.
You've done a lot worse.
I've done less.
So once again, if I wish we had like effects, like we could put up like a bing, because it's like will to Greeze 0 when it comes to divisional shift.
What are you talking about?
I don't think
I make great points.
No, you do.
There's not a
fun.
single person out there that doesn't think that retailers are best positioned and legally able.
No,
They are legally able.
No, not based off your description of what they are legally able to do.
They can raise prices. That's all I'm saying. They can raise to secondary prices.
I don't think it shuts down the market, though. That also doesn't solve the problem.
If all uncontrolled states did it, it would absolutely diminish it. It would crush it.
No, then people would raise the price. That's how supply and demand work.
Right. It raises the price, but it raises the barrier to entry for a lot of people.
It would also raise the secondary price because a black market is always going to be more than what you can legally get it at. That's actually the nature of the black market. There are features and cost built into it. So if all the retailers agreed to price fix and break the law and raise the floor, then the secondary market is going to be above that. It may not be twice, but it will be more. It will not go away. The retailers do not have the power, nor the obligation, nor the ethical power.
I didn't say obligation.
No, I am, because you did put it on them. You threw it on them. You said they're in the best position.
They're best positioned.
No, I don't think so. I just refuted that point.
Dude,
I literally just refuted the point.
Somebody needs to send out an email to every liquor store in the state of Tennessee and be like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to be proactive. We're going to shut this mother down.
It wouldn't shut it down.
In Tennessee, it would.
No, it wouldn't. It would raise the price of the bottles on secondary.
I would say the state of Tennessee gets a lot of allocation. We're not in the top 5.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm saying, but you take that many bottles out of the market.
First of all, if you
it elevate the price. But Joe Schmo that's over here that can afford a $400 bottle, now that $400 bottle is going for $1,200, he ain't playing that game no more.
There's a lot of people that play that game at that level, that price.
I agree.
So it doesn't go away.
I agree, but it's riskier.
It doesn't go.
It's riskier.
It doesn't shut it down. You just agreed with me.
It's why
you just agreed with me.
Well, it's why people don't go in and say, I'm buying a share of Amazon stock versus I'm going to buy a share of Apple, because Apple it's a lower price.
That analogy does not work. That is not why people decide to buy a single share of stock or not.
No, it's all about this is my money that I have in hand.
Nope, this is not the right
to gamble with.
No,
because I'm a flipper and and it's in a market.
No, comparing a stock price of 2 publicly traded companies to a then price set bottle of whiskey. That analogy does not work. That's a false comparison.
That is not a false. How is that false?
1,000% that is a false comparison, because one, there are fundamentals, there are all sorts of things that go into pricing of a stock. And so you believing that an Apple or Amazon stock will go up or give you better returns is completely different than a bottle of whiskey in an unregulated illegal marketplace.
No.
Yes.
All of that 100%. Is unknown. All of that is unknown. You don't know how much that price of whiskey is going to go up. You don't know how much price is going to go up or down of Apple, up or down of Amazon.
No.
But you've got a set amount of money that's in your hand.
There are 98 people that agree with me on this.
That is not true. That is not true.
Yes.
No. Greeze. I guarantee.
No.
Hey, if you understand what I'm saying and you're on my daggum side, put like a laughing emoji up or something.
Most people are not looking at 2 blue chip stocks and thinking to themselves, this $400 stock I will buy 1 share of, or this $1,200 stock I will buy 1 share of. That's not a mindset between a single share of Apple or Amazon stock. That is not an analogy that works. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
That analogy does not work.
How many people could afford a Amazon stock at $150 versus $3,500?
You're making the hole so much deeper of wrongness right now.
How?
Because that is not a comparable analogy.
This is an investment in their minds, and investing in Amazon is also a risky investment in their minds. It's the same rules.
No,
I don't see any freaking laughing emojis
because most of it says Team Will, Team Will.
This is
Greeze, please listen to Will. Thank you, Don.
Y'all
Remember,
are garbage.
we are not together anymore.
Y'all are garbage. All y'all people, Team Will, freaking garbage. That's a good analogy.
No, it actually is not a good analogy. I understand what you're trying to say, but those are apples and oranges.
Okay,
that is not a real world example. It's not a real world example.
I'm gonna need.
Oh, Dunny, as I just said it with the apples and oranges comment,
dude,
you're getting a wrench,
dude. You and a couple of people are basically like I feel like y'all are naked in a hammock
there's
together.
A couple people on here that aren't dumb.
Like y'all, like a couple of people naked in a hammock. You just look at each other and having a full on conversation without even saying any words.
No, we're just thinking through it rationally. You have, and this is not me being. I'm not being mean. You're having this is a fun discussion. I love this show. This is my second favorite show we've done in a long time.
Okay,
and this has been fun banter. I think it's great.
So, do you think we're back to like second year podcast?
Yeah, no, we definitely are.
Really,
Brian Brennicky. This is apples versus Amazon, not apples versus oranges.
Y'all are dumb. All of y'all are dumb. Here's the deal.
No, but I will say it's fun because you're not making dumb statements. I disagree with them, and I do think that analogy doesn't work. But
okay,
but it's not just like the dumbest thing.
I want you to listen to me.
I've heard you say much dumber.
I have $150 right now that I am willing to risk. That's all that I have.
You can keep trying to hammer this analogy there, but it's not working. For many reasons. There's also not someone who says, you know what, I have $150 left. I'm going to invest it in a single bottle of whiskey and hope for returns. That person doesn't exist.
I need
either.
you to listen to me.
I've listened to you.
I need you to listen to me fully.
I
go and sit down with Casey Bright. Okay, an incredible CFP.
If Casey Bright heard any of the statements you've just said, and you're going to him,
I don't care.
He would drop you as a client.
I don't care. I need you to listen to me.
I'm listening. Yeah,
you keep interrupting.
I'm being greasy. How about that?
I have $150, and I go to Casey and I say, "Look, here's $150. I'm willing to lose this, as you do when you're investing and putting your money." Now, they hope to not do that. But I have $150. That's all I have. Here's $150. I transfer it into my daggum Casey Bright Edward Jones CFP account.
He's going to hate you for dragging his name into this analogy. Just saying. Keep going.
So, hey, Casey, can I get Home Depot stock? And he says, yes. I don't know what it is. Let's just say it's $50 a share. Yes, you can get 3 shares of that. Great. Perfect. Do it. Hey, Casey. Can I buy some Amazon stock?
Casey, if you only have $150 and you say, I want to put all 150 on one stock, and Casey says, let's do that, then you should probably drop him as your advisor. But continue.
There's one situation out there. Right?
No. He did not tell you to do that. I know things you've done that if he knew you did, he would crap himself. Live on the internet.
I rolled some dice, and I may or may not have been told to do it. It's fine. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. I'm going to win a free cruise.
Don is going to prove this right here. Actually,
let's
do a micro.
I am not done.
You continue, but can we do a micro experiment? I want Tarak and Don and Lana and Jake. I want them all to whatever you want to buy from them. Whether it be Blanton's or something, whenever they get on the show.
Just sell it to me at secondary?
Yep. Don said, I'll sell Greeze a Blanton's for $200 if it will make him feel better. I think that we should see if you get out of the game.
I would absolutely get out of the game.
Let's see it. I want to see if it works. If it shuts down the Greeze market.
Well, there was no market because I don't sell. I've sold one bottle.
No, the buying market. Because also what you're implying is that these people would maybe stop buying.
Well, I would only buy because we do an event that we need fun bottles for.
Continue your thing. Oh my gosh.
Quit interrupting me. Hey, Casey, can I buy a stock of Amazon? Nope, can't afford it. Okay, no problem. Hey, can I go? Whiskey's actually a good market, a good investment to get into right now.
Casey, I'm so sorry.
It's 20 times what it was 3 years ago. Name something else that's done that return.
Illegally, mind you.
Right. Oh, right. Right. It is illegal.
We need to 100%.
It's illegal, but not
because we're live on the internet.
Yeah.
Casey Bright would not advise you to do any of the things that you just put him in a hypothetical about.
I did. I said Casey Bright because he's very talented. He's very good.
And people don't like when you use their names, like actual people, in a hypothetical that one is would cast him in a bad light.
Let me just not cast in bad light and just say he's the greatest CFP on the planet.
That's wonderful for you to say.
My mom actually
let's move on from him. I really don't know if he wants to be in this conversation.
Okay.
So,
a CFP.
I would just say that your analysis and your analogy, trying to compare a whiskey purchase with
don't think about a whiskey. Think about it as an investment. Is what I'm saying.
No. The analogy is not right.
If $150 right now got you an OWA, okay?
The analogy isn't right.
But if
this is a logic problem, and it is
all the stores come together and start charging more than that, and it goes to $250, that person that had $150 extra a month would not be able to do that. They would be priced out of the market.
I think there's so many false assumptions in your analogy.
It's very simple.
No, it's simple because it's wrong. There's so many false assumptions. I didn't
have that whiskey in my throat.
So many false assumptions, like that every single person spending that $150 is doing it for an investment, not to drink. That every single person that is spending that $150 is buying it to flip, or that every single person.
There's so many people that do that just to pay for their other bottles.
Once again, these are assumptions.
Sell one to get your two for free.
These are built-in assumptions that are not. The analogy just doesn't work. It's not a factual, comparable analogy to the Apple Amazon stock price scenario you gave.
Why is it not?
I've said it 25 times. I've literally gone through all the ways. There's more. Everyone agrees with me. 100 people are like, yeah, bud, it's not. I understand what you're saying. If the prices were to go up, it would knock some people on the. You know what a better analogy is?
What?
Raising the minimum wage. It gets rid of lower tiered unskilled work. That's why you don't need a minimum wage.
No, don't go there.
No, because that's a price fixing issue.
Minimum wage is a price fix?
Yes.
The government is breaking the law?
No, they are making the law, but that's a price fixing situation. It's not a market-based solution. It's saying, here's the floor. And
You're so hot. You're so smart.
When you raise the floor on a price.
So smart. Like, I'm over here just like, hell, I got a theory.
When you raise the floor on prices.
Will's just like, act 3, voice amendment 12. I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. Oh, governor does not have that power.
When you raise the floor of the price, then what it does is it knocks people out that could play at that price.
Yeah.
And so they just don't have a job anymore. They don't have the whiskey anymore. It doesn't fix the problem. It actually creates more problems, because then it creates inflation, the prices of whiskey going up, and it causes all sorts of other havoc. You don't have, you have to then help other people out by sharing that whiskey with them. There's a lot of problems with raising a price floor. And that's what you're talking about doing. You're talking about a unilateral price floor raise that's not actually based on a true market force. It's based off of the unregulated Wild West market price.
Listen, I'm just trying.
Breeze, you gave a good example.
I'm just trying to figure out how to knock these prices down, because I don't want to spend a lot of money. Because here's the deal. I ain't got time to go freaking hunt. I'm not a pharmaceutical rep.
No, but it's not going to bring the price down. That's all I'm saying. You're causing everything to be raised at that point.
I understand what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying,
and it doesn't stop a secondary market. It makes the secondary market get more expensive. There's always people with more money than you. That's what you also need to learn.
I'm just butthurt about it.
Yeah.
And I actually like the secondary market because I like going. I like. I don't like
you. Do not.
I like saying doing the recycling bin sign.
Yeah.
And be like, yep, I want that one.
You don't do that.
Haven't done that in a long time.
Right.
But I do. People do reach out to me like, hey, I've got these bottles. Do you want them? And I have to vet them because, the scams and stuff. Dude, scams are getting stupid. I kicked out 2 people.
In what?
In our group.
Well, why'd you put them in?
Because they look like a normal freaking human being because that's what they do.
Did they answer the question properly?
I just added the question. Well,
that's a different group.
That's a different group. Yeah, because I was getting a bunch of requests in that group, so I changed. I had a password added.
How do you feel about guys that hunt and resell bourbon as their main source of income?
That's stupid.
I hope it's not you, Tiny Tim.
So
Tiny Tim, y'all. If I hope that's not you, I hope it's not you
because it's legit a felony.
Yeah, I don't like illegal means of income. It's modern day bootleg.
Well, and depending on how much money is being dealt with, it's a like I would be. I am scared for you.
If it's their main source of income, that's definitely over felony level.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm assuming.
I would not. I mean, if that's what someone feels desperate that's the only thing they can do.
Yeah.
I hate I hate that person doesn't have other options for a fulfilling employment. If they feel like that's
I'm sad
for that.
Yeah, like
but
I'm scared and sad for that.
It's not like
sad.
I don't look at that person and say like I don't like this person.
Right.
No, it's people make choices.
Here's the deal.
I just think it's a very bad life choice.
That person succeeding in that would crush in another field that is legal.
Right.
Right. You obviously have a gift.
Ingenuity.
Yeah, you're obviously an entrepreneur. You're obviously like have a systems process involved. I mean, especially if it's your main source of income, you are working a lot on that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
right.
I feel like there's a potential there that you go and get you a 6-figure salary somewhere.
Yeah. Kevin could make this continue to keep going.
Kevin Hasselwander?
Yeah.
The historian?
Yeah. He says, at what price point does the secondary market get flooded with fake bottles?
Yesterday.
No, I mean, even more so than it is. Like, that's a really bad problem in like high-end wine.
Yeah. So
like vintage wines. Mm-hmm. There was a movie on, I think I watched it on Netflix, but it was like, this guy he did it through the auctions and everything. Like there is a legal vintage like auction market for even spirits and stuff, but it's not as big in bourbon, but it's getting bigger now. But the whole thing was he like built this whole backstory of himself. He presented himself well. He got in these wine circles. He started going through, and then he had people fake buying his wine, and he ended up with all these bottles. But he just had an incredible counterfeiting operation in his house and was making millions and millions of dollars doing this. It was a lifestyle. He was well known. He was in magazines.
Billions.
And it was all these real, like the Koch brothers, like which are like famous, like billionaires in Koch is how you spell it. But they're like Koch brothers.
Okay.
But they're like
I know why they made millions.
No, they're billionaires that are like they're heavily involved in politics. So they're very polarizing. Heavily involved
in Coke is what they are.
No. They're very polarizing figures, but they like one of the brothers was in it, and he had like I forget the number, but it was millions of dollars of fake wine in his collection that he had spent millions of dollars on in his cellar that they went through and started like, is it like his.
So he dealt with one person mainly?
I mean, no, this guy he flooded the whole market. He was able to get stuff everywhere. and like getting it through different auctions. These bottles get passed around, they get do stuff, and he like all these people had millions of dollars of counterfeit wine. Insane. That's what can happen,
right,
when prices go out of control, and it's like to some degree it is
well,
happening.
I mean,
So.
all right, let's look at Kentucky out. Okay, let's just say you pop this cork and you're done.
Grease
with
is
it.
about to. This is like one of those weird like after school specials. Then
Yeah.
you heat up the spoon.
No, how easy would this be to counterfeit? I think it would be pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a simple.
Take a look, Will. You're good with a
this
dot
is
matrix printer.
This
What do you
is
think?
simple. You know, Blanton's is probably the hardest, if I had to guess. It's very like this is not easy. You know what I mean? But you could absolutely do it. But I think it's just harder to make look more authentic.
Yeah.
But dude, this is a 2013 gold. How fun is that?
It is fun.
I think I'm going to put it on the wheel at Whiskey Weekend. That'd be fun, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks. Do you want to go to a 15? We've been going almost an hour. Or no, over an hour. We've been going an hour and a minute.
You know what? No. Let's save it and do a Buy Bar Pass episode with it.
That's fine. You want to talk a little bit more? A couple more minutes?
No, I think we should wrap it up because we got the Patreon after party.
Let's do it. All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening. Do you go ahead and put in the chat in the comments? Do you like when Grease and I have a debate like this?
Right. We've had two in like 3 weeks.
Is this a fun?
Is it too much?
Yeah.
Because I have a very weird outlook on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And Will just tames me, but he's also very smart.
Do you like these kind of discussions? Do you want more?
I'm gonna win one though.
Just playing around.
I'm gonna win one day. Though.
Nate likes these. Go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon if you want to get that Patreon after party. Patreon.com/thepodcast. Hey, show me that Lob Creek again.
I'm going to win.
Go show our buddy Matt Porter some love. This is how Grease got the Lob Creek.
It's freaking
go
great.
to his Patreon, support him. He's a good buddy of ours.
It's
we love him.
Great.
Speaking
of secondary,
if you want to buy merch like a hat like this or a hoodie or a beanie or something, Christmas is coming up. If you want to treat yourself.
And if you want different colors of anything, hit Melissa up at is it info at
thepodcast.com.
Yep.
But go to thepodcast.com/store, use the code CYBER, and that will get you free shipping. So
and you know what? We were going to stop that tomorrow, but we should wait till like Friday at noon.
We'll have Cyber Week.
Cyber Week.
Yeah,
we should do it for a whole week
so people can get on.
Because by the time they listen to this episode on the podcast only feed.
Yeah. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you so much. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on your app of choice, and check us out at YouTube. YouTube.com/thepodcast. Subscribe.
Get the visuals.
Ring the bell. Give a thumbs up.
We don't have Patrick here this week, so we kept it on one wide angle.
It still looks good.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we're in it.
And all that to say, we don't know Jack, but we will drink it.
Is that what I was supposed to say?
Sure.
Why did you say it like that?
What do you mean?
We got to go to the freaking after party.
Okay.
But why did you say it like that?
We don't know Jack.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Well, the way you said it was dumber.
Well, the way you thought you said it was not dumber. I need new headphones. I'm out.
I haven't ended this.